I wanted to send a quick video, first of all, from here in California. I am visiting a friend, and I just wanted you to see how magnificent it was here. But while I was here, I was trying to say something to my husband, and he walked away, and my thoughts switched into something not really negative, but a negative in processing. It's like, why aren't you listening? And it occurred to me, that is the opposite of some of the things that I teach in my classes. It's the opposite of the way our brains process. Instead of why aren't you listening to me, I should have said, hey, can you come over here? So the thing I wanted to say to you is about our brains. Our brains cannot process in the negative. And you might think, yeah, it does. I do it all the time. Well, actually, it doesn't. There's this quick math your brain has to do. So when you say, for instance, not to do something, the brain has to think about what it is you're supposed to do and then I think the word is transverse, right? Transcribe it in the brain. And I even knew this because when I raised my children, I learned not to say things like, don't drop that cup, don't drop that milk, don't spill that milk. Because what the brain hears is, drop that cup, spill that milk. So what I used to do with my children instead was say, hold tight, drink that milk. Telling someone what to do instead of what not to do is really so much more positive. It's even biblical, because in the place where Jesus said in the Bible, when you get rid of one demon and you sweep it clean, and here it is, and you're thinking, yeah, I love a clean house. Isn't that great? Why would 7 more demons come? And what it says is you have to fill it. You have to fill that spot with something instead, so that it's still full, but it's just full of the good things and not the negative things. So when he was referring in the Bible to getting rid of the bad demons that you have, is what can you do instead? So if you, for instance, are working on, I will not yell at my kids. I will not yell at my kids. That's a negative, right? So what am I supposed to do in place? Instead of saying what you won't do and getting rid of that, you're going to have this empty space. Okay, don't yell at my kids. So instead say, speak calmly. When I talk to my children, I will speak calmly. And that's actually what inspired this video, because with my husband, I was thinking, how can I be a positive wife? What can I say to him instead? Like, honey, come on and talk to me, or come into this room. Or think further yet, instead of what I'm telling him to do, in my own mind. I have lately fallen victim to some of my own thoughts, saying, well, I'll tolerate this behavior. I guess I have to tolerate it. Instead of saying to myself, no, things are getting better. We are better at communicating. Instead of saying we used to have a troubled marriage and we're working through it, saying we have a great marriage. We really do. Now, neither of these is incorrect, but we do have a great marriage. We do communicate well. I want you to think about that in your communications. Who is it? What is it? Is it you? Because this is one that's easy in terms of saying you don't even have to worry about what other people are thinking or saying, or what can you change in them for your response. This is a behavior you can practice constantly. And what I'd like you to do is start with something very simple, like tangible things, like, as I was saying, don't drop the cup. Say, hold tightly. Do you remember doing math in high school? And we'd always have a hard time with the word problems that were put into the negative. And I'm not even going to come up with a good example, but the bus driver did not go to such and such because he had to go here. And it's like, well, wait, he didn't go, so he went. So is this the miles he didn't? You know what I mean? I remember having to do that in my brain and changing a sentence, or double negatives. Do not brush your teeth. Do not brush. So that means the same as, okay, brush your teeth. So what are the negatives in your life? What are the negatives in your phraseology? And what can you change it to? I'm going to speak more clearly today. Instead of I'm not going to yell, I'm going to tell my children what they did right, instead of telling them the areas that they failed. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this video when I go back in the house, and I'll be talking to my husband. It's, the things that he does well, or Danny, I really appreciate this. Maybe it sounds like an obvious video, but I don't think so. I think you should analyze yourself, analyze your speech, watch what it is you're telling people not to do, what it is you're telling yourself not to do, what it is you're telling yourself that you don't do, what is it you're telling yourself that is bad. Because if you train your mind to process and again, this is the way the brain is wired, but you can exercise the brain to tell it, what is the positive? I have a 40-year marriage. We have worked hard. We are going to be even happier. We succeed at this. Here's one of my things. I cut people off too much. And some of you guys, when I do my videos with guests, comment on, Christine, you cut off your guest. And I will put a note in front of my microphone that says, don't cut off your guests. And so I'm actually going to go change that, because here I am admitting, oh yeah, that's right. And say, okay, I'm going to give myself a break. There has been time where it says, do not cut off your guests. Let them finish their thoughts. So I'm going to cut off the first part of that, and I'm simply going to have a note in front of me that says, let them finish their thoughts. So it's a positive action, something I can do, instead of telling myself something I can't do. Remember, I don't want those 7 demons to come in to this place that's been cleaned out. I just want to be able to say, these are the things I'm going to do. So I'm going to get rid of this demon of yelling, and I'm going to be calm, and I'm going to bring in a spirit of joy, and I'm going to fill those blanks with the positive things. So check your speech. Listen to something you've done. Maybe, I don't know if anybody does videos like I do, but I surely have a way to back up on myself. But listen to the things you say. Listen to how you criticize your children, your spouse, others. Just your plain comments. Walking into a restaurant. Oh, I know they're going to be slow here. Well, guess what? They are going to be slow because your mind just processed that. But if you start focusing on, we're going to have time to talk more at this restaurant than we do at other restaurants, it will change your life. It will change your perspective. And I think you're going to find a little bit more joy than you expected. So that's your lesson for today. And I always appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to comment. Let me know if I'm on track, if this has affected you, and maybe ideas for where you're struggling, and I can help you out with the ideas in my next videos. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. I want to thank you for watching this informational Bacon Bit, and remind you to live your life sunny side up.